Okay, we're going to try to do a quick video here. I had some people in the comments on the first version of the mod that came out asking me how I got the set door gunner to fire. So we'll just run through a few things. Flying version 1.1 that came out about 4 or 5 hours ago. It came out today. Kudos to 8Ball and Toby for lightning fast turnaround on all the new keybinds. I haven't seen a single thing now that is not able to be bound. So kudos to them, and the flight model seems really locked on. I was doing okay with it to begin with, but it feels even better now. So let's go ahead and get rid of this UI layer here. We'll turn the ROE back on here in a little bit. I do want to show my controls real quick for the weapons for the guys who are asking. So if you go into the weapons here, I'm flying with the Virpil OH-64 collective. So what I have bound right now is the let's see here, rules of engagement button. So that's what I'm gonna toggle that to tell the gunner to fire or hold fire. Basically your weapons consent fire button like George. Then I also have the burst length for the M60 bound, and then the color of the grenades to drop, so just switching between color and incendiary. And then also on my throttle I have the crew status, which is the UI layer you just saw. I'll let everybody else scroll through the bindable buttons now with this new update. You're definitely going to have to come in and check your stuff again, because I noticed my throttle and my collective, the buttons had been reset, which was no big deal. One big one though that I do want to point out before I jump out of the controls here, which is awesome now, is you can bind, whoops, not the landing light, the throttle idle. So I can hold my starter down now on the collective and then crank it into idle. So good stuff there. So we'll bounce out of here. We'll go ahead and get her fired up. Start cranking her up. Bump her out of idle, or into idle. Wait for her to hit 60%. Generator, inverter, compass on. Give her full throttle. Alright, she's coming alive. Good to go here. So, first thing I want to say about the flight model, a lot of people I see online are trying to ease into the liftoff. Some of the people I've seen have kind of started doing it the way I've been doing it as well, or we've been doing it, which is coming up on the collective a little faster than you normally would with the Huey or the Apache. Both of those feel very controlled. This nimble little beast wants to yank. So I typically give her a little bit of left rudder, come back just a hair on the stick, and then we're going to come up relatively quick on the collective. Hopefully we won't roll anything. There we go. And then once you're off the deck, it's all controls. Stick and rudder, collective. Just a lot of control here. A lot of manual stuff. Some of the assets with the new pack with the OH-6, which are really cool. So we'll get moving here. Got a few targets out here just to the south, so we can demonstrate door gunner. Now, one thing I've heard people struggling with is they're fighting this with the rudders. What I've noticed is it's really controllable with just your stick and your collective. Once you get speed, just like with the Huey, let your rudder go neutral, and you're just controlling this with the stick and the collective. You really don't use rudder authority until you're coming back in to land. I haven't been using trim. Obviously there's no forged trim, so just for the purpose of video, I'm going to re-engage the UI for the door gunner, just for the purpose of the video. Over here off my 1-2 o'clock, I've got some VC from the pack that we're going to go ahead and take out. If you see my door gunner, he hasn't picked up on anything yet. Now he has. I'm going to give him consent to fire. He's lighting them up. They'll start shooting at me here in a minute. Now burst is short. I'm going to tell him to go long. He's getting after it. This is all stick right here. No rudder. I'll give it just a little bit of rudder, a little bit of collective. Alright, he's down. Alright, now I'm going to tell him to cease fire. Put him back on short. Oh shit, an explosion there. That was awesome. Alright, so we're going to bug out. So that is how I've been using the door gunner. Just with the keys I showed you in the beginning before we cranked up. Now, while I've got the UI up here, you can see the select switch for the grenades. Pretty cool. I like that they have the audio on here, so you don't need the UI layer up. So I always leave that off. The only other thing I'll demonstrate right now is landing in a confined area. I've got a barge over here. One thing I've noticed with the OH-6 is, unlike the Huey and even the Apache, you can come in relatively fast and bleed off a lot of speed, pull back on the stick and drop the collective, to come in pretty quick and regain control of the helo pretty fast. You've been flying DCS long enough. I've noticed with the OH-6, it's a little easier to bring her in slower than it is fast and try to drop her. I think just because it's a smaller, more nimble aircraft. So just for the sake of demonstration purposes, I'm going to circle back around and land on the barge out here and just bring her in slower. But these, we've been practicing at Anderson Field, just taking off and landing earlier on today, and it helped tremendously. I think the flight models help a lot too with 1.1. So right now this is all stick. I'm going to start dropping the collective, and this is where rudder is going to start coming into play. You start slowing her down. Now this is going to look dumb as shit because that boat's going to go right through my pontoons, but it is what it is. That sucks that thing's going through there because it's going to screw up the video, but whatever. So again, pulling back on the stick, really starting to use rudder authority, a little more collective, a little more collective. Should have put the pontoons in a different area, ignore the boat. Should disappear here in a minute. So you're going to feel it when you start pulling up on that collective. You'll start feeling her turn. Now one thing I've noticed, when you go to set her down, you're going to want to set the collective down relatively quick because she still likes to turn. But definitely a lot better with flight model. Could have been a little smoother and face forward a little more, but yeah, very impressed with the new flight model. Then I guess we'll end it here. I just wanted to demonstrate the door gunner because I had some questions on it. It showed that after a little bit of practice, learning how to fly this thing can get a lot better. Definitely recommend a collective if you got the funds to do it. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'd be glad to answer them. And if you have any more questions about key binding or anything like that, I'd be glad to answer that as well.